So yeah, otherwise everybody doing okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
Yeah, I'm hungover, so I'm doing okay.
Oh
All
man,
I was doing better last.
hungover on daylight savings time day. That's well, you do get an extra hour.
You get an extra hour to So
Still messed me up. I woke up. I thought it was like, I don't know. I think I was 5 when I woke up, and I was like, it's cool, it's 5. And then when I woke up again, I went to the bathroom, and then I woke up again, and I was like, oh shit. Did I get? Yeah, I still felt like shit. It didn't. That extra hour didn't help me.
Yeah.
That might have been I don't know. When I drink real boozy beer like that, it never ends well. Like ends well in the sense of like I just feel like crap the next day. I'm a big boy now. I don't throw up anymore. My body just internalizes that poison. You're just gonna feel like crap tomorrow. Puking's always better, man. You just get it out of your system and fresh start.
Yeah,
choice with the Gatorade, though.
Especially when you puke on your friends. That's even better.
Yeah.
That's more helpful.
Yeah.
That sobers you up.
I might
right
have
now.
found some of that in my ear the other day. I'm cleaning out my ears. I'm like, oh, man, is that some Jaeger puke that lodged way back in there?
Well aged.
Speaking of lodgings, and I remember getting out of my car and just hurling in his yard. And I looked at him and I was like, dude, I'm staying here tonight. I'm not trying to drive home. I'm not sure how we made it here. So the next morning I got up and was heading back home, and I just felt something. The way I described it was materialized in the back of my tongue. And it was a piece of chicken that I had eaten the night before. It was lodged somewhere like in my nasal cavities. And it dropped down. Wow. And I was like, that's the most interesting thing I think I've done at this point in my life. I'll never forget that, man. Lodged up in there.
And that's the soundbite of the show. That's how the show begins.
Yeah. There he is.
I think there's Mr. Carter coming in.
I see a Carter logging in.
Yes.
Very punctual.
Yes. Hey, how's it going, Nibbs?
Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Nibbs.
Wow. Oh, I think it's going okay.
Excellent.
It's Sunday. It's November. It's getting dark here. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
I love the backdrop there. That's really cool setting you've got going there.
Very pretty.
Where are you?
We're all across northern Ohio.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Well, today's actually kind of sunny. It's quite nice.
Yeah, it's very nice today.
Yeah, it's like 60 degrees.
I'd love to be there. I like getting around the States. I think I really miss touring, and the last big tour we did of the States was probably, I don't know, 18 or 19.
Okay.
And I miss it badly now.
Yeah.
You guys were supporting Judas Priest, I believe, on the Firepower album tour, right? Because I think you came to Youngstown. You had a date there in Youngstown, Ohio, I believe.
Oh, we played everywhere. Wow. Yeah, that was an amazing tour. But we did go back again. We just did a run like on our own, like with local bands, I think it was, and like, you know, it was just good to get back. And it's funny. I was writing with Andy Sneak last night, you know.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously in a bit of a strange situation at the moment, and he's still like. I mean, we've got a new record coming. We've actually released a single.
Yeah, I just caught the video earlier this week, Carpe Diem. So very excited about that. Pretty tight.
Yeah, we're excited too, and you know, it's weird though, trying to be excited and not trying to get over excited, you know,
Right.
Because I mean, we've got like we've got a gig planned for next Friday, North Germany, place called Lubeck. Well, near Lubeck. It's up on the North Peninsula, just south of Denmark.
Okay.
And you're all really top on your geography, so I know you know exactly where I'm talking about. like I know exactly where you guys are.
Hey, you knew it was at least you knew it was in the United States, so
Yeah,
good job there.
the rock and roll lifestyle hasn't damaged you too much.
I thought it was in Canada.
We're close.
Yeah, pretty close.
We're close.
Yeah, we're a dirtier, lesser kind version of Canada.
Right. Exactly.
Very dirtier, much
Yeah.
dirtier. Very
Yeah.
salty and rusty
Right.
here.
You drive through Detroit and you smell the stench that is, that's good stuff.
This is America.
Mm-hmm. Land of the burning tires.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, Nibbs, we're really excited to have you on the show today. Thank you for condescending to meet us. We really appreciate it very much. And
Well, I got this through our management assistant, Michelle. She's really cool, and I think it was about a couple of weeks ago. She just asked me, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that, or whatever? And there you go. It's a bit bigger now. And she said, just check it out and see what you think. And I had a look at your link, and all I can remember, tell you the truth, I've been really busy last couple of weeks, which is good. Busy is good. And all I remember was horror. And I don't know, movies.
Yeah, you're at the right place.
And heavy metal.
yeah,
Is that what it was? Is that what it was? Heavy metal.
heavy metal horror.
Okay. Is that what you're called?
Yeah, that's what we're called. That's what we talk about.
Okay, great. Well, I was going to do some research today, but I went for a walk in the woods with my son and my grandson instead, and I was jogging with the push chair, and it's really great fun in there. You guys speak with elves too, right?
Only when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, anyway, he seemed to be like pretty much one-on-one with him. I was off walking. My son was like gone, and I'm like with the pushchair, thinking, I could take some firewood home from the pushchair. And he was just sat on a log, like he's like 18 months old, and he's like not bothered about keeping up with us. He was just like, I'm staying here, and then he was just chit chatting.
Chat with elves.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, that's great.
And then I thought, there's my research for the heavy metal horror show.
Well, you've learned it all.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is you need to know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of longtime friends who just decided to
Cool.
do a podcast
Wow, that's sweet.
and talk about the things we love. And we just kind of like on a whim, we reached out to Carl Sanders from Nile. I don't know if you're familiar with the band Nile.
Not at the moment, but I have checked them out like in the dim and distant past.
Yeah.
And but I can't say that I'm au fait with their like current material.
Yeah. Well, he was doing because of COVID, bands couldn't tour for a long time, so he was doing guitar lessons online. And so I contacted him. I said, "Can I just like get pay for like an hour of lessons and just have you come on our show?" And he's like, "Yeah, cool." And we were just like, "Oh my God." And then after that, we had a great time with him. And he said, "Let's just start reaching out to people. Like, why not? And just asking, will you come on? Let's talk with you." And lo and
There's
behold,
a salesman in you coming out there. That's cool.
exactly right. We're just cold calling, just sending letters like, "Hey, we're fans. We'd like to talk with you. Would you like to come on?" And lo and behold, we're having these amazing conversations. So
And we still pinch ourselves like this is amazing. Every time we have an interview with a musician like yourself, like this is you know, we never dreamed we would have these opportunities to spend an hour, you know, with someone and just ask all the questions we'd like to ask, and you know, get to know all these musicians at a more personal level, and it's been awesome.
When did you decide to get do this as it is now? How long have you been doing it?
We started in March of this year.
Okay, so it's pretty fresh then.
Yeah, it is pretty
Yeah.
fresh. And we started doing interviews, I think maybe in May.
Yeah,
I think.
sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we've been doing interviews, and then sometimes it's not every week that we get interviews because we have to schedule, you know, people's schedule. So in the weeks that we're not doing interviews, we just do shows like on our favorite music, new albums or horror movies, you know, things like that. But
that's a good way to do it, just to keep it, you know, flexible.
yeah. So, but we have a good time. And
Yeah.
so yeah, well, we've got a lot of fun questions for you, and some goofy ones. We want to get to know you. We want to do something that's not just a traditional Q&A. You know, things that you've been asked 1,000 times. We just want to have fun. You know.
Okay, I'll try not to let you know what I'm really thinking.
Okay, excellent. Good. Well, we're gonna do this really cheesy, you know, intro, which Dreadbull loves, and then we're gonna welcome you, and then we'll just start with questions. Is that cool with you?
You're no, that's way too familiar. No.
All right. Well, let's go.
Just slap me around. I'll get used to it.
All right. Hey, we can do that. I got a button for that. So, okay.
Hey, everybody. This is Justin from Sorcerer.
And Christian.
And you guys are listening to and watching
Heavy
Metal.
I am Montag, master of illusion. What goes up must come down, but not always.
Hey, Chop Top, this is Heavy, and the Eagle has landed.
And Dreadbull.
And wild card.
That's right.
The wild card.
And you
Guys.
are listening to and watching Heavy Metal Horror. There we go. Excellent.
All right, you got into it already.
Is Montag. Morgan is Montag. Morgan is Montag. Montag. It is. Tomorrow is Monday, so
That's right. That's right. Oh, man. Oh, kiddies, we have a phenomenal show for you tonight. We are going to be interviewing one of the great bass players of one of the seminal bands of the British new wave of heavy metal, Saxon's own Nibbs Carter. Nibbs,
Oh my goodness.
welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Nice.
Nice.
He brought a bass for the occasion.
There we go. It's all about that bass.
There's always a bass in arm's reach.
This one's a 6-string actually. So
Oh, okay.
Nice. Nice.
Is that a Steinberger? Is that what this Steinberger? Is that what that brand is?
That's the kind of thing it is. Yeah. Like I said, I've been busy, and Biff already asked me to get ready for the next record. So I've been going crazy the last couple of weeks, just getting stuff together, and it's great fun. It really is. You know, just have a project in your room, just go for it.
Yeah.
So.
That reminds me, you grabbing the bass like that reminds me when we spoke with Dave DeFay from Virgin Steel, and we mentioned a sword collection that he has, and he just stands up and draws this sword off of his hip, like he carries it. I think he wears it around the house. He just instantly had a sword.
So you carry a guitar with you all the time, Nibbs?
Well, at the moment, yeah. I mean, I have that choice, you know, now I'm 55, 40 years ago, I would have had to stay in the bedroom, basically, you know. But now I can go to one room and there'll be a guitar there, and so
nice.
That's a nice progression, I must say.
You finally don't have a bedtime now, right? After
Uh,
after 40 years.
At the moment, it's pretty weird because my wife's in Santa Clarita at the moment, and I'm in like North Germany, and so if I want to have a good conversation, whatever the topic might be, with my girlfriend, then it's about 9 o'clock in Santa Clarita in the morning right now. If I want to have a good conversation, then I gotta wait till about 3 in the afternoon. Which is about 11 o'clock at night for me, and I've got to get up in the morning with one of my youngest kids to get him off to school at like 6 o'clock. So I'm feeling it a bit at the moment, you know.
Yeah.
Burning them at both ends.
Nice. Well, you know,
that's not exactly the rock and roll lifestyle you hear about. You know, got to get up early in the morning to get the kids off to school.
Hey, I think a lot of the lyrics that you hear in heavy metal is like, you know, escape. You know, let's totally escape from that shit.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of the you know, determination, the real passion that goes into the playing and the composition and stuff like that. I think a lot of that comes from the discipline that you need to hold your shit together, you know,
Right.
in a family, you know, and it's like that release comes out in that, you know, it's like, you know, I don't know if you ever chop golf balls up for fun or anything like that, but you take the skin off and it just goes fucking mad.
Right.
A little bit like that, you know. That's what my head feels like, and then it comes out in heavy metal, you know.
it comes out in your
Nice.
playing too. I watched a concert from was it from Wacken, you know, from 2019, and you know,
Okay, yeah.
you're just a very
All right, yeah,
energetic
That was
player.
with Parkway Drive. We're on just before us. That's right.
Yeah, it was just your show, you know, and
Okay. Oh,
we
you
were,
were streaming it, or
it was
a
on
gig?
it was on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're a really energetic player. I mean, you're, you know, thrashing around and bring a lot of energy, you know, to the show. So I guess that's where your golf ball innards are coming out then, right? That's
The
Yeah, I
Yannick
don't get out
Gers of
very-
bass.
Yeah, and I don't. I'd love to play golf. I don't get out very often.
all right. Well, I guess we can start with some kind of basic questions, like, you know, how did you first get into music?
Oh, just by being surrounded by brothers and sisters. I'm the youngest of 6. You know, there's myself, 2 other brothers, and 3 sisters. Papa wasn't around after about 4 years old, so it was just Mama trying to control all those kids. But it's quite an age difference. I mean, I was born in '66. By then, my eldest sister was already 20. So, and then the next sister, she was 18, and then the next brother, he was 17, and then 15, and then 5 years. My youngest sister is like 5 years older than me. So I was really in love with my dog, you know, because I felt closest to the dog, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But there was always music around, you know. There was born in '66, and my brothers and sisters, they were listening to rock, soul, funk, pop, great pop. I mean, pop is underrated as a indirect influence on a metaler. It just gets inside you, and like it's up to you how you put it back out into rock form or metal form. I mean, like it's surprising what I listen to. You know, my playlist will be like Aretha Franklin, like or some kind of Spanishy like kids singing. I get a lot of stuff from my kids, and I just say, "What is that? I like it." Just put it on a playlist, and like a lot of it is like, I mean, like Avril Lavigne, stuff like that, Dua Lipa and stuff like that, when I'm like running in the woods and stuff like that. But as soon as I pick up the guitar, you know, I'm not trying to recreate what they're doing. It's just good to have, like, I think the higher you go in, or the further away you go from metal, when you come back down to it, it's like you get this perception of like, wow, you know, I could go really heavy here, you know. Instead of like staying in the heavy all the time, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Then you become super like heavy, but like, I don't know if it might become monotone or something like that. It's good to have a little contrast here and there. It makes heavy even heavier, you know. Mm-hmm. And so, but around the house, there was always like pop, rock, soul, funk, and around the age of 14, my brothers, you know, realized that I was getting, you know, like, I don't know, more curious about the records that they were playing. Anyway, they gave me stuff like Live and Dangerous, Thin Lizzy, All the World's a Stage. But I was also, you know, Rush, and getting into school, yeah, close to where Ohio is. And yeah, but that stage I was already in the second grade of like a mixed comprehensive school. So you're meeting all these new kids and influences of, you know, music and school disco. Big deal, really big deal, you know, at 12 years old, 13 years old. I think 13 was the real big deal for me. It was like 1979.
So Saturday Night Fever.
Well, anyway, yeah, I mean,
that was a huge movie. That was the giant movie. The Bee Gees were all over the church.
That is like, that's a killer horror movie, right? Amazing movie, though. I mean, that's great. And Grease Lightning, you know, that movie, that was killer as a horror movie. It's actually quite a rough movie, Grease. But anyway, 1979, there was like, If You Want Blood, AC/DC. Wow. Yeah. Jesus, it's like, I mean, I think it had already been out a year or so, but I went to school disco and I heard a whole lot of Rosie live for the first time. And so it was like, whoa, okay, how do I hold my air guitar? You know, off you go. Off you go. School was out and like disco, the school disco was in. It was amazing. And so you know, there was music at home, and I think my family saw that I was getting interested in this stuff. So here you go. They started like offering me, take this poster, may it serve you well. So it was the Live and Dangerous cover, you know. You know, Phil in it, down on his leather knees, and that was on my wall, you know, with the pick of destiny, that kind of thing. and a year later, I heard 747 from Saxon on the radio.
Okay.
Exactly. So, and that was so cool. It was like I'd never heard anything like that before. Mm-hmm. This sweet voice from a guy, and so laid back. I mean, the drummer at that time, Pete Gill, had such a laid back groove. If you check 747 out, it's like he must have been smoking something, man. He's like, he can barely get out of the car. He's like, but it's heavy, you know, where the guitars meet up with the drums. Bam, 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 and it's like, wow, this is cool. And then it's really haunting stuff, you know, the chorus. It's like, whoa, you know, spooky. I don't know. It's just like one of those things that just gets the, you know, goosebumps kind of thing.
Yeah.
For a 14-year-old kid, that's like what? wow, I've got to find this somewhere. So I was at my auntie's in a place called Barton upon Humber. It's just south of Heaven, and there's a walk across the River Humber. It probably took me about an hour and a half to walk across and get into the city called Hull. And I went to a record store, and I had enough money to buy 2 singles. And it was really cool. I went in there and I bought a whole lot of Rosie. Live from If You Want Blood with Hell Ain't a Bad Place to Be on the flip. And 747 single with See the Light Shining on the flip. They were my first single purchases.
Awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I was set up right there, you know.
Do you still have those singles today?
No, my sister sold them at a car boot sale.
Oh,
I don't even think I got any recognition or profit or anything.
as a 14-year-old carrying those singles home and listening to those singles, did you ever dream I'm going to play bass for these guys someday?
No, I wasn't that kind of person. I really was just like quite dopey. You know, I didn't really have no vision. I was just happy to get home, have some food, you know.
Yeah.
And then I got a guitar from one of my brothers, which was cool, Kevin. Just an acoustic guitar, an old tired thing. But I played it, you know, just strummed around on it. And I think I started to think, you know, I can copy the stuff that I'm listening to. But no, there was definitely no, I'm going to do this. I have a vision. You know, all I wanted to do was play football. Only football. Kick up. I'm quite good with rhythm. You know, like I like dance and drums and rhythm and stuff like that. I like playing drums, and I think it actually comes from playing football.
Okay.
You know, it's quite an athletic thing if you're taking it seriously, and soccer, I mean, and I used to think, you know, if you want to do it well, you know, it's like the boxing thing, with, you know, with the rebound, you know, that kind of thing. It's the same with the ball against the wall. I like Cool Hand Luke with baseball.
Okay, yeah.
And so it instills that like sense, and yeah. Well, anyway, there's all kind of influence and there's all kinds of input, but I think it really started around my 14th birthday. I just asked my mama for some cash. She said, "You can have some cash." I said, "I'm ready for it." And yeah, there was a bass guitar in the shop for £40, and I bumped into some of my buddies like jamming some punk stuff in a dressing room, school dressing room on this playing field, and they were so like loud and wow, like real musicians. Wow, a drummer and a guitarist. I had no idea that they could do that. You know, it's like, wow, it's like you're a real musician. And I was like, amazing. And the guitarist, one of my friends, Russell, he said, if you let me ride the sister's moped that you've just stolen, you can have a go on my guitar. And so that's what I did. He rode off into the sunset on my sister's moped that I just siphoned petrol out of local car. Still tasty. Yeah, we were jamming stuff like Dead Kennedys and Stiff Little Fingers and The Shadows, all kinds of stuff, you know, and Status Quo.
Oh yeah, Status Quo, man, that's a great band.
Yeah, but I twang this guitar, and I've never played it, not really played a guitar. I tried on my brother's, like, you try. I thought I was doing okay, but but I played through, hit his guitar on plugged into an amp. It was just some kind of like Les Paul copy.
Okay.
Through a trainer combo, I think, and it was it just sounded great. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you hit, if it just resonates something inside you, it doesn't matter.
Right.
I don't even think I was attempting to play a chord. I think I was just hitting it, and it was just like, my goodness, And literally the next day, I went and got this bass and ran back to my guitar player's house, which is actually right next to the playing fields. That's now not playing fields. It's just, houses everywhere. But I opened the door. I opened the case, this cardboard box. It wasn't a guitar case. Couldn't afford that. But it was like, open this cardboard box and there's a bass. And he's like, what's that for? And I said, you need a bass player. There you go. So that was it. And then I trying to learn with fingers, trying to learn with plectrum, all kinds of stuff. And honestly, it just went like a snowball. It was great. And so by then I was like really taking the listening quite seriously. So my hero by then was Geddy Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually, I don't think it was Geddy Lee being a hero. It was probably more Neil Peart, actually. And also from Ohio. And yeah.
Great Ohio-based band, Rush.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite bands,
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
If you're into this field, it's a very broad field, metal and horror, but Rush, they're in there everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Rush is my favorite band. And like I was a self-taught musician, drums and guitar. So when I started playing drums, I started playing to music, and then my favorite band was Rush. So I put on Moving Pictures and I learned how to play that album. With the 95% of it, there are still a few things I can't get, but
I remember you getting mad trying to play those triplets in Tom Sawyer. That drove you crazy.
Yeah, but eventually I got most of it. Yeah,
it's funny. Right now, just before I came on with you guys, I just thought I've got to come up with some idea that's. Where's the microphone? Is the microphone around here?
Yeah, we can hear it.
We can hear it. Yeah.
Not now. Oh, okay.
There it is.
So basically, that's going to be like, I named it Xanadu to start with. Now it's called Trojan. But basically, I was trying to take, the rock and roll lifestyle. I was trying to take a nap about an hour ago.
Is it a song about condoms?
And I'm laying there. Anyway, so yeah, the perforation. So anyway, Neil Peart is like a huge influence, and Geddy and Alex meeting him, or him driving over to meet them, was like, wow. With a drum kit crammed into the back of a car. Amazing.
Yeah. Had that meeting, had his dad not encouraged him to go try out, we would be deprived of one of the best rock groups of all time, right?
True.
Yeah, it's amazing how fate works sometimes.
Fate. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in that regard, I mean, since you grew up and listening to Saxon, how did you get to be in the band? Like, how did that meeting happen? You know, you went from jamming.
No, that was
And then-
simple. No, I ended up in a band because one of my brothers saw that I was getting proficient, and one of his friends had a band, and they needed a bass player, basically. But the good thing about the band was they were based in a professional recording studio. The guitarist in the band was a guy called Bram. He used to be in a band, well, he's called Peter Bramall. So he called himself Bram Tchaikovsky. And he was a guitarist in a band called the Motors, like late 70s. And yeah, so he invested in an old chapel in Lincolnshire in England, and converted it into a recording studio. And that's he was the guitarist in the band, and that's where they would rehearse. And you know, my brother's friend was the singer in that band. They were called Dan Leno. And anyway, they needed a bass player. My brother put me forward, and so I was picked up by the singer. I was 18, I think, at that time. Taken to the studio with my Rickenbacker copy, which I only had a few weeks or something. I took a little combo bass combo with me and jammed along with them. And Bram took the bass off me and gave me a different bass. And we carried on playing for a little bit longer. And in the end, he just said, it didn't take very long. It was like maybe an hour, let's say. A little bit blurry on it, but I can remember that it wasn't very long. It wasn't like a big, we're going to have to try this and we're going to have to try that. He just said, okay, let's go to the pub. As far as I'm concerned, you're in the band. And that was great, you know. He went out of the studio. Think about it. This is a chapel, you know, with a really high vaulted ceiling and stuff like that, stone, you know, arched windows, and a little bit foreboding for a little kid from Grimsby Town, but you know. But the rest of the guys seemed as like a little surprised as I was, and they were like, "Cool, okay, let's just keep like playing some music. Try this, try that. Okay, let's go to the pub." Went to the pub. A few beers. Looks like you're in the band. Cool. And then we would do a gig here and there, like pretty random, like places, like a university gig. Like, I guess it's because Bram had some contacts and he would just put out some feelers and say, I want to play a gig, but I don't want it to be like some tiny little shithole anywhere. Let's make it a sensible venue. And we would get dressed up. And Dan Leno was the name of the band. Dan Leno is also like it was a 1940s music hall comedian stage character, but also a double meaning from the town where I come from is a big like fishing town, Grimsby, in England. And you know, Keith, the singer, he was really proud of his heritage, and he came up with the idea of this name Dan Leno. The character, he everything he did was pretty much double meaning, you know. So he would write about the music hall character, but he would relate everything to marine or fishing activity. And Dan Leno are a couple of like wooden like lats that you sew into or tie into a trawler network. You know, the big net on the back of a trawler.
Yeah.
And as you're pulling the trawler net along, those Dan Lenos like hold the net open. And and it's funny, you know. He would write lyrics to like Davy Jones' Locker and things like that. Melissa Gray, the name of a trawler, and singing about love song. I love you in black and white. Black and white was the name of the local football team called the Mariners, Grimsby Town. And I love you in black and white, talking about the letter that he's writing to the girl, but he's actually in love with Grimsby Town football team. So there was some good substance in the band, and Bram had some background with the motors, and we were up and running. And that studio was like I said, it was a professional up and running concern. And you'll get bands like Simple Minds recorded some stuff there.
Okay.
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think if you've ever heard that name, then you don't really forget it. But they recorded there. Tesla Girls was one of their hits. They recorded that there, as far as I remember. And then Saxon were in and out of there because Biffy was living not far away. He was living in a place called Wainfleet, about 20 miles away, around 84, 85. And so the band would come in. He would just like look out for a rehearsal studio or whatever, demo studio. Chapel was fairly close. Let's go there. And that was basically just as I was starting there. And so Biff would be coming in, the band would be coming in, and I would just like be brushing shoulders with them. And but like I said, I didn't have any like big plans or any vision or anything. I was just like living this, just being blown around like the leaf or the feather that lands somewhere and gets picked up and used by something. And and I was being basically, people were just saying, you're playing great, let's just keep you here. Whenever a band comes through, we'll give you a call. So I was basically a fledgling session player with 18. And I didn't know it, but it was good, and at that point you're just practicing like crazy, so you're pretty much hitting the ground running all the time and enjoying it. So that's like best environment to be in. And then in 1988 around November, it was November, of course I remember it, but I was in a pub in Grimsby, my hometown, and had a heavy night the night before. Some music, some dancing, some clubbing, some whatever. And I'm in the pub with my friend's brother. My friend had to go and do some work as a chef, cook, training cook. And his brother and I just went to the pub for a hair of the dog. And we were in the cricketers' arms. And the barman just said, Tim Carter. Anybody? Tim Carter? And I was like, well, yeah. And basically, the manager of the studio, Saxon, were in the studio doing some demos and repair work on this, that, and the other, or whatever. And Biff had just sacked the bass player and drummer and asked Nigel Glockler to rejoin. Nigel was back there and they were at the studio. Biff was going to do the bass, whatever bass duties. And basically my mate, who was the tape op, said, let's get Nibbs. He'll do it. He'll be a pig in shit with this stuff. And so that's what they did. But it was just mental that they found me in this pub.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, there's more than one pub in Grimsby. In fact, there's probably more pubs than houses. But they found me, and it was like, oh, okay, nice one. And so the manager drove to my town, picked me up. I just grabbed a bass, and he drove me to the studio. And so I'm in there, going through these demos. Just play along. So, well, yeah, of course. And they wanted me to do like 2 days, but I'd finished by the night time of the first day. And so the studio were upset because they lost a day's work. But Biff was happy because he was only paying for 1 day. And like
Yeah.
Andy said, "Are you interested in doing the next studio album with us?"
Wow.
So and yeah, so that's where that kicked off, and that was like November '88.
And
And you were
33 years later, here we
wow.
are.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
that had to be mind blowing. I mean, I just like they find you in a pub, and the next thing you know, you're playing bass for these guys, like this legendary band. Did you? I mean, at what point did it really sink in that this is real? Do you need a refill?
Yeah, I need a refill.
Okay,
Go for it.
all right, go ahead. We can
I
wait.
just tell jokes and shit.
Oh my god. Ah, that's crazy.
That is. But yeah, I don't know. He just seems to go with the flow, man.
Yeah.
That's the quintessential rock star moment.
Yeah.
You know, Judas Priest is calling, Saxon is calling.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and then so usually the responses are like, "Nah,
Yeah,
you know,
bullshit."
yeah, who is this? Who the fuck are you?"
right.
You know.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible story.
I remember Todd Waits asking because he if I would be interested in playing drums with him because he was talking to Michael Sweet.
Okay.
Striper.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because they needed a drummer. And I'm like, yes, I would totally want to play drums for Michael
Sure.
Sweet. But
Yeah, right.
It's like, it's only 6 weeks. You're only going to get like $1,000 or a week or every other day. I'm like, I don't care what it's paying. I get my
I
foot
love
in the
that. That
door.
sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. But the tour never happened. I said, because he was also talking with Wendy Dio and Jeff Tate, and because they were going to do that album with Bruce Dickinson and Jeff Tate and Dio. And I said, well, tell them if Dio needs a drummer, call me.
Sure.
Missed it by that much.
That's the name of the game.
Exactly. That's our next album. More misses than hits.
Yeah.
Well, you've been playing in Saxon for decades now and shared the stage with countless other great bands. Can you talk about, you'd mentioned Neil Peart and Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson as some of your musical heroes, but tell us about some of the other musical heroes that you've met and what that was like, to meeting your heroes.
You just mentioned Ronnie James Dio. We were playing a festival in Spain about 10 years ago, and Heaven and Hell were headlining, and we were down in the town, say 20 minutes away from the festival area, and somebody called us. We were having dinner, like Biffy and the boys and myself, and yeah, oh, okay, yeah, they want us to headline the show. There's been an accident, and Heaven and Hell have got to pull out. Okay, but what time are we on? They were supposed to be on at 11. Yeah, but of course they're pulling out and we're headlining. So our show, which was just before them, is now the headline show. So go.
Wow.
And we arrived at the venue, and it was like, basically what happened was Tony Iommi was walking around. Tony Iommi, right? Mm-hmm. It was walking around backstage, and it was like just a bit of uneven ground, and he just stumbled and fell. And I think he just hurt his wrist. I don't know what happened, but anyway, we all thought there was something wrong with we didn't know this at the time. I only knew this like after the gig, but like I went into our dressing room and they said, "Oh, go up on stage and check your guitars. We're not going to get much time preparation before we go on stage." So I ran up to check my bass and which bass I'm using and stuff like that. Ronnie and Geezer and Tony and I think Vinny Appice was playing with them at that point. They were already on stage and the crowd were going crazy. Whoa! Because they didn't know what the hell was going on. And Ronnie took the microphone and he walks to the front of the stage and he starts saying in English, "Hi, Rose. Okie dokie, where you going?"
Last night with a few friends in our restaurant.
Oh, nice one. Whereabouts?
Osteria.
Italian?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Bring a doggy bag.
Bring one for us too.
Yeah. Yeah, Ronnie was trying to inform the crowd that Tony had had an accident. And I was like, it was quite late actually. It was one of those late Spanish shows. And the crowd, I think it was like already 2 days old, the festival, and the crowd are well, like, up for it. And so they're going crazy. The fact that Tony's just standing there on stage, they're going crazy. And he was like trying to calm them down and say, "We can't do the show." That's not an easy thing.
Yeah, right.
I can't remember where it was, somewhere in Spain, but you know, I love my Spanish friends, but like not everybody in Spain understands American English, and unless it's song lyrics. But like Ronnie was basically saying, "We've got a problem. Tony hurt himself," and I was at the side of the stage checking. They were saying, as soon as they finish with this chit chat, you're on. So it was like quite, you know, there was like unusual dynamics in the life of a rock band at this point. And so I'm like, fuck it, I'm going on dressed like this and I don't care, whatever. It's going to be fun. I just want to make sure that the bass works. Probably might have been one of those moments where you don't have the usual crew with you or something like that. I don't know. So check your stuff. So I was checking my stuff down. Jesus checking me out, and he's laughing. He's checking me out, and he's like, I think Ronnie must have acknowledged as well, but he said, "We can't do it. I'm sorry." And he was on his knees. He was on his knees in front of this crowd, say 30,000 people or whatever. He's like, "I'm sorry, we can't do it. Tony is not good, not good." Tony was there, but and then Ronnie just walks over to me, passes the mic over to Geezer and like walks to the side of the stage. I'm hiding and shit. He just walks over to me and he's like this. And I'm like, and he's like, and I was like, okay. No tongues though. I should have said something like that, but no, I was just like, what's going on? I think he was probably like, you know, nervous and like relieved that he'd just said what he'd just said, and that I'd been fooling around playing like fucking Iron Man or whatever. And he just came over and he said, I was like, "Dude, are you okay?" He said, "It's not me, it's fucking Tony." I was like, "Oh yeah, you just said that in front of thousands of people, and I'm not getting it." And he was so cool, and like, but then again, it's funny. You can misunderstand or misinterpret, like
Yeah.
actions and like what have you. But there's one time we were in between drummers. Saxon, it was around 1997, 1998, and Nigel, I think he was feeling our drummer. I think he was feeling at that point. Yeah, he rejoined the band as I joined the band, and I think he felt a little bit disenchanted again. It's just not working, and we were in between management as well, so things weren't as smooth as they could be. And he decided, like, I have an injury, and I'm going to use it as a way to just say, guys, I'm taking another break. Fair enough. I understand. You don't want to do a tour. We'd come up with a record called Unleash the Beast. It was called around 1997.
Yes.
And we had an American tour coming up, and he wrote a letter to everybody and just said, look, I am in pain. I got an issue with my back and I just don't want to do it. I'm letting you know so that there's plenty of time. And so we got in touch with Cozy Powell, actually. And Cozy Powell said, I can't do it, but I know a drummer who will. And it was absolutely crazy. I'm digressing here because, and I hope I can remember what the question was by the time I get to it.
It's okay. This is all good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, well, basically, you asked me funny stories with heroes and shit, but
Yeah.
this kind of leads to it. But if I go off piste, let me know. And yeah. So Cozy said, this guy, it's an English guy who lives in LA, and he's just like a genius on the drums. And he's called Trevor Thornton. And I'd never heard of him. Dougie had heard of him. And so we gave him a call. He's in LA. At this time, there's no nets and shit like that. So we sent him a CD with the tracks that we wanted to play. We compiled a set list kind of thing, burnt a disc, sent it to this address. And he got on the phone and said it's a walk in the park. And, so to us, that's like, he lives in LA, he's English, says it's a walk in the park. It must be true. Great. The tour's on. How fucking blind, But anyway, not only deaf, but blind. And like, we land in like JFK. He flies over from LA to JFK. And the first meeting, I'm like stone dead drunk, and like he's like, "Oh, you're doing the social thing, nice one." And like, I was just like, "Just want to say hello." Then I'm off to fucking bed. But he was like, you're doing the social thing, nice one. And then the next day, we're like, got on a kit in this rehearsal studio. You hit, this first track was supposed to be the, make or break, and it's called Unleash the Beast. But the chorus is like, it's pretty tough stuff. So the double bass drums. As soon as he hit the toms, the skins just exploded. They were like, oh, so the tour's
All hell's breaking loose. That's what's happening.
Okay, let's have a break. We'd only just started. So I think, I don't know who it was, like Remo or whatever company it was. They just sent him a bunch of heads, his sponsor or whatever, and they were just a bunch of duff heads. So got them on, good heads, fantastic, played amazing. We did the tour, it was fine. absolutely great, you know. And he was like, as he said, it's a walk in the park for me. And he was piling it on, actually, you know. He would be making the grooves like work like we've not heard them before, and then he was piling stuff on top of it as well. And so it was like, okay, yeah, there you go. It can be like that in any musician, in any band. We're all interchangeable. You know, you can get a guy or lady come in, take over, and make you think, my goodness, that is amazing. That doesn't make a band. That just is an individual that comes in and does things. You get 5 of them come in and do what that band does.
Yeah.
That can also be amazing, but then again, you just changed the total identity of a band, you know, and that's not what people want. And so,
Right.
but we did the tour, and then so we got back to Europe, and we had a little break and stuff, and then we got a gig offer here and a gig offer there, but the only drummer we've got is this guy in LA. So it was mental. We would do like one gig in Czechoslovakia, and the next day a gig in Sheffield, and then he'd have to go back home again. And then we'd have like Monsters of Rock in Buenos Aires or something, and that was it, nothing. And then there'd be a gig there, and then it was like, oh, this is mental. And then so we started auditioning again, and we did have a few offers of festivals, and there was one coming up, and Trevor, I can't remember, he wasn't available for it. So we wanted to do it because I think we were like broke, maybe, I don't know. Or let's just keep playing. We just want to keep your profile going and stuff like that. And we auditioned a couple people, and this kid turned up, and his kit was like almost like wouldn't fit in the studio. It was hilarious. But he could play. You know, it was cool. He was ambitious. He was a little bit over the top, flamboyant in his manner as well as his playing. But we said, look, come on, let's just go with it. You know, we don't have we don't have the luxury of like finance, and we just want to play. And so we said, okay. Oh man, I can't remember his name right now. It'll come to me. But we said, okay, I think in 3 weeks we've got a gig in the whatever dome in North Italy. I can't remember, but it was like a Monsters of Rock thing. Van Halen was supposed to be headlining, right? And this would have been 99. They pulled out. I think Dream Theater headlined the top at that point, or you know, there was bands like Michael Schenker's group at that point. You know, just Michael Schenker group. Hammerfall.
Okay.
Joe Satriani. And Saxon. But it was, I don't know, say Milan or whatever. But it was one of those great big like domes, like a ball kind of thing. It's not a dome, it's a ball. It's a huge thing. You can get probably 12,000 people in there or something like that. And it was pretty mind-blowing. And it was like, okay, we're doing a gig. Van Halen aren't turning up. It's going to be Dream Theater, whatever. I think they ended up headlining, just the way it goes sometimes. And backstage was just a bunch of like partition, like it was a big open space, but what they'd done was like they just set up all these like temporary,
Yeah.
partition,
Mhm.
so that every band has got their own space,
Yeah.
but not private, audibly, acoustically. You can hear everything that's
Yeah.
going. Like, you may as well just like nah. And so John Petrucci's in there immediately. But it's great. I love this discipline. It's amazing. I wish we had our own drum. And but there's other shit going on. like the singer from, I think it was this. There was one band, they were obviously right in the middle of a tour, and then just like off their heads at 4 p.m, and just running around like wild and going crazy. It's like, oh great, this is good. And but I was a little bit like that too, but like being reminded by Biff, take it easy, And I went to the toilet. I went into the bathroom, and I just opened the door. I've got to have a piss. It's a stall, right? I open it up, and there's the bass player from Joe Satriani's band. At that point, it's a guy called Stu Ham. And he sat on the toilet, and I think he was taking a shit. Well, anyway, I just said, he might have been having a piss. I sit down when I piss too, like you guys. And I just went, oh, wow. You're Stu Ham. Yeah, and he just went, he's holding the toilet paper, and he just went, can you close the door, please?
Did you offer to shake his hand?
I just went, oh my God, or whatever. I don't know what I said. I don't think oh my God was around. And it was just like more of like, I'm usually really polite, like even when I'm like drunk or out of control, I am polite. And like, I think I was just like, I like the hilarious thing was, is I can't remember what I said, but I left quickly, and like I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like walking around through the dressing room area, and I walked into this like toilet. I found a bathroom, and as I went into it, there's this guy filming himself pissing. I think it was a singer. I can't remember which band, but it was like frying pans and fires and stuff. It was just like, Stu Ham was cool. And then later on, I saw him again. And I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Ham, Stewart." I said, "I was the guy that he said I know." I said, "Well, I just want to say, big respect and stuff like that." And I'm leaving again quickly. He wasn't into the like, it's okay, I understand. He was like, yeah, leave. But it's that.
You should have locked the stall. Was there no locks on the stalls? Like that's gonna happen if you don't lock the stall, man.
Okay. Right. I'll remind him.
Yeah, yeah. Open invitation if you
Yeah.
don't lock that door, buddy.
It's your own fault. Oh man.
It says backstage. Oh man. Oh, I don't think I've really had any other crazy ones. Obviously, being in Saxon, I've seen so much Saxon action that would kill you guys. But
Well, let's hear it. Tell us your
Please, please.
craziest Saxon story,
Saxon
please.
action. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Bring some Saxon
I love
action.
that. That's an
Well,
awesome term.
shit like like we do a tour with like Udo, Dirk Schneider, around 2000, 2001 or something, USA, and we also have planned 8 dates in Mexico. So we get to the border, and like Udo and the guys are saying, "Here's a bottle of Jack Daniels. You're gonna need it." Like, so me and Dougie decide to kill this bottle of Jack Daniels and have like a pillow fight and fucking like, on the back of the bus. And like next morning, our heads are killing us. I can't find my passport. We're crossing the border into Mexico, blah, blah, blah. We eventually get into Mexico. We do this tour. Our drummer's tech gets food poisoning in where is it? Torreon. Then we're down to Mexico City the next day for a day off. He has to stay in Torreon. I set up the drums that night. The crowd are going crazy. They stole a keyboard of mine and some shoes. Mexico City was cool. I bought a bass guitar, Fender Precision, for $200.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it was mental. The translator guy, Pablo, he said to me, don't show anybody any cash at any time. Follow me, I'll take you to the store. Let's have a look around. And it was like, oh, clear instructions.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, I got a nice bass, and that ended up being the first Fender Precision I ever had, and that was used on the first vacuum video that we ever did for that whole show. $200 US dollars, man. It was like a steal.
Yeah, right.
And so we finished this tour. We ended up back at Juarez, and our flight the next day is from, was it Chicago or something, I think. We got quite a drive. And at the border, the federales, they say, that cash that you have, that's ours.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah. And that cash was basically our flights and transport and everything. So they took all of our money, and we were left with, on the US side of the Juarez El Paso border, with no money, no nothing. And so the only thing we had was, please let us make a phone call. And we phoned a friend from San Antonio who was working as security, chauffeur, that kind of thing. And he said, yeah, I'll come and pick you up, but it's going to take me a few hours. So we had to I think we hustled some kind of room to stay over. This is band and crew. And,
Okay.
we've just finished like a 5-week US tour with Udo, Dirk Schneider, and a 2-week tour of Mexico. We're ready to go home, but we've just been raped,
Right.
on the last day. So yeah, so Actually, I was speaking to Peter last night, the guy who picked us up. He got a buddy, like Mushroom Michael or something, whatever.
It's a good name.
Mushroom Mike.
So these characters turned up and like drove us all the way with all our gear and shit. They just turned up with a couple of big RVs and like drove us all the way to the airport and no questions asked. That's how cool. And yeah, and I was speaking to him last night. Peter, you know, he was out in wherever, I don't know. And yeah, stuff like that. That's like, you don't expect that of like established rock bands that are out there trying to do a tour, you know.
Right.
Like, you know, at the end of the tour on the last day, you know, like trying to get out of the country and go home. Thanks, you know, that was cool. Nah, give us everything.
Yeah, right.
That's awful.
Everything. It's good fun though.
Except for that. It was all good except for that last hour in Mexico.
I got to tell you, every gig, I somehow enjoy every gig, and even in that craziness, you know, you do come away with a lot of like pleasure. It's strange. It has a lot to do with just not being too intelligent about it, you know.
Too dumb to quit.
You know, if you're freaking out all the time, then what are you doing it for?
Right.
Makes good sense.
Yeah, I'll drink to that one.
That's a good story. Makes for a good story.
Yep. It's all fun and games till the federales take all your money.
Leave you stranded at the border. You got to hitch a ride with Mushroom Mike.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's my favorite 60s record, Hitching a Ride with Mushroom Mike.
I'm surprised we haven't heard a song about that somewhere, you know. Come on.
Well, you know, you got some bass lines there on your phone. Maybe you could maybe that's the start of a song.
That's a concept album.
A Mushroom Mike song. A whole concept album.
Hitching up with Mushroom Mike.
Yeah.
Federales. You know.
Well, we did one called "Running for the Border" on the next album. Actually, after that tour, we did one called "Running for the Border." You can probably look that one up. It's funny. Whenever we play a casino quite often, just in El Paso. And the guys there, they're really cool. And they pulled me into their office and said, "We love this track." And it was that one because it's just like down the road from them.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you know, the lyrics, Biff put it straight in the lyrics, you know. He wrote, but if you look at it, it's called "Running for the Border." It's from, it's from Forever Free album. Ja, guten Abend.
So it might not be too late to make a bonus track for the album coming out in February. You know,
Yeah.
Mushroom Mike.
Yeah, the Mushroom Mike
bonus track.
Mushroom Mike RV show.
I'm really looking forward to it.
I don't know about the vinyl. I think they're already on the press, but I think for like CDs, or you could probably do it. You know,
Yeah.
your compact disc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, however you put it out there, we'll look forward to that.
Yeah, we
one.
want to be the first to promote it.
Yeah.
You know, the new Saxon song,
This was
Mushroom Mike and the RV Parade. Something like
Hatched
that.
on Heavy Metal Horror Podcast.
That's right.
It's mad, isn't it? I mean, you only have to say mushroom once, and like it's enough. It's enough. Who would have thought in horror and metal that mushroom would like have so much width? You know.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's what brings the world together, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
what kind of
Shrooms is a fantastic horror film. If you've never watched
No,
that one.
I didn't shroom yet.
Yeah.
Do do I need to be prepared for anything? Like, I tell you what, we haven't really talked at all about like horror movies. I thought all I was going to be grilled on was like, why don't you like horror movies? And how tall is the average horror movie fan?
How tall?
Very short.
Well,
1.5 Ronnie James Dios.
I'm cutting that one, Vic. That one's not. Now you made me edit. No, come on, man.
He would love that. He would love that. and then sing you down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
Well, speaking of horror films, I mean, Nibbs, do you have a favorite genre, or do you really watch a lot of horror? Or no? Okay.
No. I used to like like as a nipper, I used to watch like TV. There would be like BBC One and BBC Two. I think there was probably independent TV One.
Okay.
By the time I was actually understanding what the box in the corner was like, offering me.
Right.
And,
So you got Benny Hill, Are You Being Served, or Monty Python, right? Doctor Who.
by the time Friday night would come around, if my mum and dad, or at that time probably just my mum, if my mum decided that I'm out of here, and I was able to watch TV late, with 5 or 6 years old or something. I think that's the best age to watch horror. Because you're really fucking scared. You don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a valid point. You get desensitized to it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, by the time you've figured out what horror is, then what are you doing? You're not really like getting scared anymore. You like,
right.
It's a different like thing, isn't it? And so
yeah,
you're preparing for shock. That's not horror.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so, but I remember like the old, like really old shit. Like it was like Christopher Lee basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Hammer films, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy.
Right? That was it. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And then, so now I'm prepared to be shocked. I like stuff like the Mel Gibson movie that he made a couple of years ago, 10 years ago, called Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Biff actually used that movie for influence for the lyrics. We did an album called Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
I came up with all this music and sent it to him. And it's pretty scary sounding riff, you can make stuff sound scary on the guitar, and he matched it up with lyrics, and I think he used that, and it was a bit of a different like angle as well for Saxon to be like sort of scary, instead of like, oh well, whatever. Anyway, the movies. My favorite is Silence of the Lambs, to be honest. To have suspense and I don't know, a little bit of blood here and there, but it's just an awesome movie.
Yeah.
And actually, I think they made it look. I think they made it look cheap. I don't know if you noticed that. If you look at that movie. I mean, it's like 1992 or 93 or something like that. But if you look like it looks like it's 72. It looks like they ran out of budget or something, and they had to do it on like a V8 or something. or you check it out, and there's some really lo-fi like film, and I think they deliberately did that, And I haven't read up on it or anything, but I think I've watched that film about 24 times. I think that qualifies as favorite.
Fair enough.
Great choice.
It's a great
Well,
movie. Yeah, it's a great
Jaws,
movie. Yeah.
but Jaws.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Is Jaws a horror movie? I don't know.
it's suspense.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's got some horror moments. I think it's more of a suspense. It definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, you want horror? Then it was like, I guess I was about, guess I was about 11 or something, and like people started getting a hold of stuff called video cassettes, and like you could go to shops and rent like videos, and you would get bootleg, you know. So this is like late 70s. And man, fucking hell. The big thing was like, oh, you got to watch this fucking zombie movie.
Lucio Fulci's zombie.
I don't know what it was, but there was this woman like impaled on
Yes. Piece of wood in her eye.
Oh,
Yes. Oh my God.
Zombie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
oh
And
no, actually impaled.
oh no. Oh, that's Cannibal Ferox. I think. Is that it right? Chop Top.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah.
that's the one.
That's Cannibal Ferox. That's
right
fucking.
through her
That,
from her hoo-ha to her mouth. Yeah, that's,
yeah. That
no.
is. That, nope.
Exactly.
No, that is
Exactly.
fucking awful. I've seen that one time. Like, nope. That I gotta wash my brain out. Gotta wash my brain out.
I had to take a shower. I felt dirty after watching that.
Yeah,
one.
that is
uh,
nasty
There you
shit.
go. And maybe that's why I'm like I am, because you know, she was definitely not bipolar, that lady. She was
She was unipolar.
It was monopolar.
Monopolar.
Quick, there's your edit.
There you go.
Oh man.
So with the new album coming out, Nibbs, how much were you involved with, like, or I guess even all the previous albums with Saxon and you? How much with the lyrical content? Do you come up with a lot of lyrics sometimes, or is it a collaborative effort in the whole band, or how does that work out? Or I mean, what was your input at least for Carpe Diem coming up in February?
Do you mean lyrically?
Yeah, lyrics. Do you come up with a lot of lyrics, or is like Biff like the main lyricist, or is it like a collaborative effort? Everybody kind of has their input when it comes to like the lyrics and stuff.
Okie dokie. Chopped up, by the way, that was the quickest change of tack.
No segues on this one.
You're giving him whiplash.
That's gone. I don't write any lyrics for Saxon, no. And Biffy writes all the lyrics for Saxon. I always give him though, whenever I send ideas like this Trojan or whatever. I think it's always cool to have a working title for any,
Absolutely.
like, yeah, I send him stuff all the time. And when I do, I just give him what I think it is. And like Thunderbolt, basically, he kept the idea for that. I was fooling around with Queen at that time, and that title track, I was very like influenced by Bohemian Rhapsody, and so my working title for that was, when I sent it to him, was Thunderbolt and Lightning Strike, for whatever reason, and the album ended up being called Thunderbolt, and
Okay.
It's a great album. It's a really great album.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I was really pleased that the press took it on, as favorable. They didn't like. I don't know. They just seem to agree that it's worth us pursuing that like path, and and gave us good credit for it. It was that, and then we went out with Priest and toured it, and it felt great on stage. We were playing probably 4 or 5 songs from it, even though we were only playing for an hour. And if you think about it, that's quite a testament to to their value, you know.
Yeah.
So,
It always feels good to play new music, you know.
yeah, I'm pleased.
Yeah,
That Biff will choose, and ultimately Biff gets the last call on this stuff. But I was really, you know, so pleased that he was saying, no, let's let them fucking hear this stuff, you know. And we got, and yeah. Anyway, it got picked up really good. People liked it, and yeah. But lyrically, no. We've tried to help him with lyric, you know, because it can be like a you know, a lone me's place, like trying to like come up with stories for like 10, 12 new subjects, like you know, just like that. But I think it has a lot to do with the character of the lyricist, and times change, and I think people change with times, and I think Biff has become much more comfortable over the last decade. Definitely in the last couple of albums, he has just decided I'm going to say it how I feel, and if you know, if it's not, if people don't think it's a classic, that's what the people think. But also the last record, we were like pretty much through with the writing. We just needed a couple of more X's, and you know, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And it was really funny. Biff was saying to me in England, this is a couple of years ago, he was worried about me actually, because I drink quite a lot. And he was saying to me, you know, take it easy. You're going to struggle. You're going to have hardship and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, this is in a pub. And we'd just been jamming through Carpe Diem. Nigel and Dougie had gone home. We were recording and demoing in Brighton in England. And that's where Nigel and Dougie live. So they could, you know, we would finish and then go for dinner, go for a curry at like 8 o'clock at night. And so Dougie and Nigel would go home for their evening meal. Biff and Paul and myself, we would go to a curry house. A couple of drinks. Let's go back to the studio and finish that song off, you know, the one that we started just before dinner. And so we went back, and I'm on the drums, Biff's on the bass, Paul's on the guitar, and we're like rocking. I've got it recorded on my phone so that we can prepare it the next day. And then by this time, and I've got a bottle of wine by my drum stool. Paul's got a dark and stormy, Biff's got a dark and stormy, and it's like, you know, we're well oiled, and then we get out of the studio and we go back to this Airbnb place, drop our shit off, and Biff says, "Oh no, that's it." Paul says, "I'm off for a bath." And we're like, okay, you go for a bath. We're off in the pub. We went in the what was it? Oh, my computer's just saying I'm about to die. Wait a second.
I'll be right back, guys. Continue on.
You what? Yeah, see you tomorrow. Yeah, and Biff and I went into this pub. I think it was called the Black Crow or something, whatever. And it's 11 o'clock at night kind of thing, and it's full. People are just going crazy in there. And he was saying to me, you know, take it easy, blah, blah, blah. But whatever, I like what you're doing. Keep doing it with the writing and stuff. It was like, wow, this feels great. Let's have another drink. Let's have another drink. Keep saying things like that to me. You know?
Was this early on in your time with Saxon?
No, this is 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and like, but he was saying, you know, he was just like laying everything on the table. It was really funny, you know, like, I appreciate what you're doing, and I think it's cool, and but be careful, you know, just take it easy. And this was September the 5th, Thursday, and then the next day we were going home, and I was flying back to Germany, and the guys were all going home, wherever in England. So I woke up on my birthday next morning, September 6th, in this Airbnb, with Biff calling me. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're still in bed. You know, the Airbnb guy's calling me saying there's somebody still in their bed, they should be out of there. And I was like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. And he went, by the way, happy birthday. Okay, thanks. Got out of there and went back to the studio to pick up my bass and blah, 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 and luggage. Had a couple of beers in there and realised I had to check in for my flight from Gatwick Airport, which wasn't simple. But anyway, so I get home and, hey, James, you could start frying that chicken, man. Have a look in the fridge. Potatoes are already done. Yeah? have a look in the fridge, see what you think. Yeah? And yeah, about 3 days later, I wrote 2 days later, I wrote to Biff and said, I've edited the ideas that we did. Do you want me to send them and stuff like that? And anything else needs changing? And he was like, I'm in the hospital, just having a checkup on my heart. Not sure yet. I'll get back to you later. And I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. He's an old dude. He needs to check up his heart. And then I wrote back to him to the next day or whatever and said, it's weird as well because he's still having your email history when you see this stuff. And how's it going? Do you want me to send you the stuff? No, I'm a heart attack. And blah, blah, blah. And about 10 days before, he'd been saying, take it easy, you're going to have a stroke or something if you keep boozing the way you do, and stuff like that. You know, and like pretending that you're a fitness guy and stuff like that. And it was like, fucking hell. So that was a really weird, like, few weeks. You know, the kind of thing that you do, you start looking at what does a triple heart bypass operation entail.
Yeah, it gets you a little introspective, right? Yeah, now you're thinking.
You know. Anyway, the great thing is the operation went successfully because that's the first thing, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
You hear about so many like cases where the operation just like had complications. You know.
Right.
There's a horror fucking movie for you.
Yeah,
right on.
Yeah, and so it went straight forward, and that was probably, let's say, September 9, 10, or what have you. And then we played a show on March 4th and then March the 5th, sold out. Holland and Belgium. And then on the 7th, Dusseldorf, like Mitsubishi Hammer with Diamond Head and Doro and Tigers of Pantone. Thanks, James. And yeah, and it was weird because that was as we're hitting the COVID like hot spot, you know.
Yeah.
And that like 2 days, 3-4 days later, they shut everything down.
Yeah.
It's really weird. And well, there you go. Make some sense out of that. Off you go.
Is there, is speaking of the pandemic right now, Nibbs, is Saxon got some, tour plans?
Yeah, we've
scheduled
got
already?
whole plans, but they're different things, aren't they? A plan and a schedule.
Yeah, right.
We've got loads of plans, but scheduling can only really be solid when you've got like guarantees in venues, and not everybody's confident enough right now. So we've got European tour for spring, we've got USA for spring, late spring, we've got European for fall, autumn, we've got Hammersmith for January.
Nice.
Sold out. Hammersmith Odeon.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Manchester, Hammersmith, Glasgow, all sold out. I don't think they'll happen, to tell you the truth.
Right. Yeah. You don't know day to day. It might,
It's an indoor Hammersmith, 5,200 people. How the fuck can that happen?
Right.
So, yeah, next question.
But since we're talking about plans and playing live, like what song do you most enjoy playing live? You know?
747.
Oh, okay.
Every time. Every time. It's probably because it's very comfortable to play. I have. So it's probably a too easy stock answer. So I really like the Sacrifice song. I like Eagle Has Landed. And I like Hell and Back Again. You know?
Yeah.
Do you have any like rituals that you perform for a show, like before a show, like any rituals that you go through to kind of get ready for it?
Just stretching, really. Like aerobic warm up. It depends how the hangover is. And, if it's a bad one, then it's like 3 beers.
You don't do the Petrucci metronome? Play
I'm
all
gonna stretch my liver. Yeah.
No. You can hear the heart, basically.
There's your metronome in your head pounding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yep.
That's great.
Yeah, it depends. A tour doesn't have the same venue every day. So a tour can be unpredictable. The drives can be, the people can get sick on a tour.
Yeah.
If you have somebody sick, you don't feel great. And so, personal preparation, I like to keep it the same. And I'm pretty, for a bit of an idiot, I'm pretty disciplined. Touring, I have figured that out. A lot of people don't, and so a lot of people are great in the studio. They get on the road and it all falls apart. And
right.
It takes both,
Mm-hmm.
They tend to not last decades like you guys,
Right.
Yeah. What do you attribute to your longevity? I mean, you guys have been around 42 years now What?
I definitely, without a doubt, it's my age. That's for sure.
go.
Is there a song that Saxon has in her catalog that really had never been played live that you would love to play live?
There's loads. There's loads. I mean, like, it's funny because, like, every now and then, like, we will be asked or we will get an offer of a festival if we do this, that, or the other. And it's like we played Donington in England. It's a famous venue, Donington Park Racing Park. Like, first Monsters of Rock was played there, and like we were asked to play there, but the promoter said, "But we want you to only play the Wheels of Steel album because it's 30 years old or something like that." And when we did it, it was like, oh wow, this feels really cool playing these songs. And my favorite was a song called Street Fighting Gang. And like, just check it out. Yeah. Okay. Come on then. Got to say goodnight to Jaden. He's had enough of the elves. He wants the elders. Here he comes. Jaden, dude.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi, Jaden.
How are you?
Say goodnight to the heavy metal horror kids.
Good night.
Good night.
Hey, buddy.
It's like they don't look like elves
Yeah.
at all.
They're like
Dirty
Papa
elves.
Smurf.
Dirty Papa Smurf up there.
Night night, Jaden. No? Yeah. Say night night.
Can do some horns. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, get the horn.
Voice. Night night.
Great.
I'd like to name a few bands for you, and whichever band I name, I want you to tell me your favorite album by that band.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with Black Sabbath.
Paranoid.
All right, Judas Priest.
That's really tough. I'm not that hot on Judas Priest. I can only say that the album with the Sinner on it is the album.
Was that
Said
Stained Class?
Stained Class, yeah, right.
Yeah, I think so. Okay,
That's a great record.
good album. How about Rush? Your favorite Rush album?
Yeah, that's. I would go with Caress of Steel.
Interesting.
Nice. Yeah, that's up there for me too. Yeah,
Love that album.
I love the second side, man. Yeah.
The thing is, all right, you don't need to analyze the shit, but they were still like innocent and like right on this, like, you know, really riding the wave, fresh, you know. So they hadn't really learned how to ride it. So it's right out of the fucking, like, whoa, I've got some crazy ideas kind of thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a raw beauty. It's out there. Yeah. Iron Maiden.
I actually don't know that very much, Iron Maiden, so I would only go with Number of the Beast because I have it and I love it.
Nice.
Fair enough.
All right. Slayer.
Slayer, I would go with.
Stumped him.
Yeah, it has to be. I can't remember which album has got
Tell us the song. We'll help you.
Well,
Antichrist.
Rain and
Show No
Blood.
Mercy.
Oh, Show No Mercy.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Show No
Yeah, yeah.
Mercy has the Antichrist on it. That's like my favorite Slayer song.
Great album.
That's a great song. Great song.
Jesus Christ! I'm not fucking
That
with
was
it.
when they were trying to sound like a new wave of British heavy metal band. So
Right.
Yeah, I've heard tell of them or Kerry like imitating Paul every now and then, but like I just love that fucking. It's awesome.
That's a raw sound too. It's
It
they were
really
borrowing
is.
a lot from Venom. That early
yeah,
black metal stuff.
that's a
All that.
great record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one, Saxon.
Wheels of Steel.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Nice. So are there any current bands out there that you enjoy? Or do you kind of stick with
Fozzy.
older stuff?
I like Fozzy.
Fozzy.
I
Okay.
don't think I know that one.
Yeah, but I'm not really following that many current bands. But let me think. No, I'm not. I'm just not really like actively following.
Yeah.
I'm checking a lot of bluegrass out at the moment.
Oh, nice.
It's always going on in the background.
Yeah, that playing is amazing. Those guys shred, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like it or not, they're fantastic musicians.
Yeah. Have you ever listened to Alison Krauss? She's got a lovely voice, and Union Station is an amazing bluegrass band. They're really good together. Yeah, that's the stuff I grew up on. My parents, both sets of my parents were from West Virginia, Kentucky, so in the Appalachians. So bluegrass has always been part of my musical background growing up.
Okay.
Some amazing musicianship, like Vic said. Oh, I'd like to learn how to play the banjo. That's my next instrument.
Yeah, definitely. That what do you want for Christmas?
That's right. Yeah,
He's great for all the parties.
I'll send you my address. If you ever pick one up in a Mexican shop for a couple $100, you can send it my way.
Get a copy of the single mushroom mic.
That's right. That's right.
Banjo would be a good instrument for the mushroom mic.
I think so. Yes, I think we have to.
Yeah. Okay. I got that.
Got to make that happen. Oh. Well, outside of touring and recording and those things, like, what do you do for fun? To unwind.
I like trying to impress my wife.
That's like a full-time job, right?
Yeah, but it's funny what can impress her. Just being there can be impressive, and or not being there, or yeah, we've been friends for so long, and taking care of the garden, I really like that. Just keeping the garden in order. That's a big deal. I like cooking.
What's your favorite dish to make?
I like frying onions and garlic and adding those to like spices, coriander and turmeric, and then maybe getting some. I like meat still, like turkey or chicken or beef or pork, and like frying that with those kinds of spices and coconut milk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a huge Indian influence in, food-wise in England, and you get that a lot because we have a few Indian restaurants around here, and there's a level of flavor that is just astonishing. It's like Thai food. It's amazing.
Yeah. I think that's Indian and Thai are probably my favorites. I like some simple Italian pasta, I love basilic and basil and pesto.
Mhm.
Pesto is like, I think if it when we get visited again by the extraterrestrials, I think you just give them pesto and they'll be like, okay.
Welcome.
We're not going to probe you now. Thanks for the pesto.
When you're here, you're family.
You just
right?
saved the
it's
human
best.
race.
That's right. Well, I'm not getting probed. Thanks to Nibbs. There's a shirt. There's a
Thank
shirt.
you for the pesto. No probing. Thanks for
Right.
the pesto.
No probe for you. No
Yeah.
probe Nazi. You know? Oh, I want to play a silly game with you, Nibbs. This is going to be called Name That Festival. I'm going to be sharing my screen here. All right, can you see it?
I can see something, yeah.
Okay. It's a wheel. I'm going to spin it, and what we're going to do is Saxon is playing in a festival with 2 other bands. I'm going to spin the wheel. We're going to find out what those bands are, and then I want you to name the festival, whatever bands come up. Okay. So here we go. Here's Saxon, and let's see who's going to be the first other band to play with you. Oh, it's John. Oh, Radiohead. Oh, that's a pretty good
Radiohead.
soap. So you and Radiohead, and it could be anybody. I got country, rap, and Leonard Skinnerd. Nope,
No.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Red Hot Chili
Oh,
Peppers.
So
Saxon,
Saxon,
Chili Peppers,
Chili Peppers, and Radiohead
Radiohead.
are all sharing the stage. Name that festival.
Hang your name on me, festival.
Right, there we go.
There it is.
There it is. There's the festival.
No.
No, thanks. That's fantastic. Oh man.
Sorry, there was no joy of like silly humor. I don't know.
No, that's fine.
That's a wacky one.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah. We don't want to keep you all night. You've been here for a couple hours.
Wow.
It's just gone by so quickly. We have had such a great time getting to know you a little bit, and we just really appreciate you spending some time with us tonight.
It's good fun. Yeah, I like your format. I like the idea. I think it's cool.
Oh,
Awesome.
thanks.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for that.
And please know that when you get the new record out, or if your plans come through to tour, or if you just want to stop by sometime, let me know, and you're welcome anytime. Please, it would be a joy to have you. Or even if you just want to join in, like when we do a show and we're going to talk about, some band, and you like, oh, I like that band. I want to join you. We'll be happy to bring you on board anytime.
I know where you are, so
That's right.
You know where to find us.
That's right. That's right. And we make our own pesto here in this house, so we'll share pesto recipes.
They do a great pesto.
That's right. So before we leave, would it be too much to ask if you could do a bumper for us, like this is Nibbs Carter of Saxon, and you're listening and watching heavy metal horror, something like that?
yeah, easy.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hi guys and girls, congratulations, you found heavy metal horror. Enjoy.
Excellent. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
Perfect.
great.
Perfect.
That's wonderful. Now we're going to do our, we're going to give us some announcements, and we're going to do our outro. And please, you're welcome to say heavy metal horror with us and doing the horns. That'd be great. So you can find heavy metal horror on unsaneradio.com. You can listen to full episodes or download to your device. You can find us on Facebook, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. On Instagram, look for Montag Lewis, one word. Our brand new YouTube page, Heavy Metal Horror Podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you know someone who'd like our show, tell them about us. Nibbs, it has been a joy to have you on. Do you have any questions for us before we head out, or anything else you want to say before we take off?
How old are you?
50, I'm 54.
Congratulations. It's a boy.
We're born a year apart.
Yeah, yeah.
So nice, thanks. All right, well, this has been Montag, Master of Illusion.
Montag.
Oh.
Morgan is Montag.
Montag. We learned that.
Morgan
Yes, we
is
learned
Montag.
Montag from Eric Wagner.
Yeah,
Morgan
yes, we did.
is
That's right.
Montag.
And we broke Nibbs. Oh no. Someone call him. Put a stick in his mouth.
Congratulations, guys.
Thanks. Chop Top.
Thank you.
You did yours, Vic.
Dreadbull, Vic.
And you've been watching and listening to
Heavy
Metal Horror.
This is Doug Helvering, and you have been listening to Heavy Metal Horror, the best podcast that you've never heard before.